What is up, everybody? Oh, well, where to begin? First of all, it is still incredible to me how the world has turned upside down on, one instance of police brutality that was shocking and appalling to see on video for sure. But for it to go where it has in such a short amount of time and to have these protests everywhere, and the protests great. It boggles my mind that we can't get, similar levels of protests for Julian Assange or free speech or to reopen the country. That's really where I'm at. And then on top of it, with the looting or the destruction, the fires, the riots, manufactured or not, who are they going to hurt in the end? Taxpayers and local business owners. By far the worst. By far the worst. So, I wanted to talk about this Infowars video that is trending on Twitter, and what you have is, what I would call, riot-like behavior, and I just want to go on the record. No matter what the issue was, I've just never been for that type of destruction and violence. You can go all the way back to my video from 2008 where, Rob Dew and Luke Radowski ended up being detained and arrested. Rob Dew actually won in court on that one, and I wasn't down with the people who were burning things, who were destroying things at all. It's not how you get your message across, right? So there's a video out there of a homeless man's bed being drug into a fire and burned, and because it was filmed by the Infowars crew, people immediately attributed it to it being Infowars who actually did it, who actually took the bed and did it on purpose, and I've seen no evidence of that. By the way, 100 plus watching, 20 thumbs up. Let's thumbs this video up and let's talk about this for a second. Now, at the time I was at the G20, I was working for Infowars. I know I didn't have to stage or provocateur anything to see a massive amount of destruction, of violence, of chaos. And for, these people within the mainstream to parrot this stuff on Twitter, to call Infowars a quote-unquote terrorist organization or an arm of the Kremlin is absolutely beyond ridiculous. Now, let me say this. If by some very, very minute chance it's ever proven that Infowars somehow staged this, I'll recant. I'll say I was wrong. I don't think that's something that Jones's crew would do. I mean, you look at these people and they're in black, they're in skinny jeans. I know that Infowars posted as a story of Antifa thugs. Now, I don't know whether the people that did this were in Antifa or not, but that certainly fits the description more than, say, the Infowars crew, right? Now, on top of that, if you watch my video, I think from yesterday, you'll remember that I played the Infowars crew, trying to drive their armored truck through the protests. And then you have, what is scary to me, people throwing obstructions in front of tires, okay, number one, then taking a hammer to their windshield. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when you're in a crowd of people, I don't care who you are, you're gonna have blind spots. And when people are taking hammers, whether it's to destroy property or other people, what does that accomplish? Again, I'm not seeing people protesting billionaires like Michael Bloomberg, Eric Schmidt, and Bill and Melinda Gates restructuring society and my entire state of New York. Where are the protests for that? But I am seeing it for this with a racial divide. And I'm not going to call it a race war, right? I know a lot of people are already calling it a race war. Take a look around, guys. There's no race war happening where I am. Now, at the same time, there was a huge protest downtown in Oneonta. I didn't want to go down there and go live because I felt like, this is my last hurrah in the community, and I didn't really want emotional on air and, provocate a situation. There was no riots up here, but you saw what happened in Albany. And I'm just not, it wasn't that I didn't want to go down and cover it. It's just like I know so many people here that I don't think people are going to be able to understand my position in a short take. Now, on the other end of this thing, right, you have police officers acting in two ways. You've got, number one, cops that are absolutely inciting this violence, whether they're in uniform or not, by destroying things and then being able to pepper spray and beanbag and baton people. I mean, we talked about John Cusack being batoned. My ex actually sent me a video where, somebody she was with was just pulled out of the crowd and arrested. And, the police, obviously running down those protesters, that was a bad move. This is dangerous. Like I said, you're in a crowd and people have hammers and things that can take your life. And it's just one bad decision and, one pepper spray ball in your eyeball later and it's over. Now, the thing is that the media will play this up and somehow this isn't a risk for coronavirus outbreaks everywhere throughout the country now. No, but if you were protesting the lockdown, that was a coronavirus risk. It's just so odd to me how Orwellian the times are. And not only how Orwellian they are, that I wake up every day and I see something that I didn't expect to see. People are asking me where we're moving. I don't know. As soon as I can get out of the state, I'll let you know. Believe me, I'm frustrated that I can't register this vehicle and start actually going on my trip. But we're definitely getting out of here. I've got to get out of here. But I see John Jones trending today, and I thought it was maybe a development that we were going to be talking about on Mixed Martial Mindset later, that he wants out of his UFC contract so he can make real money. And, John Jones being maybe the second most noticeable MMA fighter on the planet behind Conor McGregor, that's a huge thing. And he actually lives up to the hype in a lot of those cases. I mean, he is a bad mother trucker. So there's video now trending of John Jones taking away spray paint and other things that people are vandalizing the community with. Props to you, John. Nobody's a perfect human being, but I'm glad you're out there confronting these guys as a man and saying, give it to me now, and taking it. Boom, great stuff. Now, the other video that's trending, and we're probably going to play these videos again later today, and especially on Mixed Martial Mindset after we go over the fights, but there's a large, black FBI officer, right? But he's undercover. Or he's not working. I'm not quite sure because the video is only about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Perhaps there's another one out there. But he's what appears to be riding his bike down the street, and he gets stopped by the cops, and they ask him if he's a person, and he says, no, he's not. And then they say, no, you are, we know you are, and they put him in cuffs. And he is just calling them dumb mother effers and cursing up a storm, and he's like, wait till you take my wallet out. He wanted out of the cuffs, you name it. And it turns out, yeah. So he calls over the supervisor, he takes all their cards, and he's like, what, you just racially profile somebody, and even if they tell you they're not who you say they are, you can just put them in cuffs, you just arrest them or detain them? That's not how you do things. And I was very happy to see that video because, that guy, he had no reason to be in cuffs, and that shouldn't be happening. And, whether that was racially motivated or not, again, it was two white cops doing it to a black man, or just, two idiots going beyond the bounds of the law, which they do all the time to normal citizens. Had he not been an FBI guy and he'd just been somebody different, they would have still shit all over him, and then they might have arrested him because they would have manhandled him and trumped up some charges like resisting arrest for nothing, right? 241 watching, 75 thumbs up. Let's thumb it up. That is the society we live in. But at the same time, if they want to use technology against us, we have to demand the body cam footage. And we have to demand that when the body cam footage isn't available, that immediately puts into question what the officer's version of events are, right? They want to use this surveillance society on all of us, right? And they'll use this eventually to say, well, you know what? We need automated AI police officers. And remember, they're already trying cop kiosks out overseas in New Zealand. That's real. And they're already using Spot, the DARPA robot in Thailand, to tell you to socially distance. And they're already using the contact tracing technology that was already there, but now is openly embedded in all of your smartphones to contact trace protesters in Minnesota. It's moving pretty quick. It's moving pretty quick. So again, you know, Infowars being pinned as like staging something that was horrendous. I mean, the homeless guy runs over to the cameras like he pulls his bed out of the fire. You know, it's madness to me. But again, if they staged it, please show me the evidence, because I haven't seen any evidence those guys staged anything. And I saw the rioting that was happening in Albany. I've seen what's going on down in New York City. I see what's going on across the country. It's maddening. Guys, think about this. Would Martin Luther King Jr. want this type of violence? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, I think a lot of us have heeded the words that you judge somebody based on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Ever. Ever. And I'm a content of character guy. So guys, thumbs this video up, subscribe, share, join the Burmist Brigade. If you can, the GoFundMe link is below. $5, $10, $15 means the world to me. Big donors out there. I definitely have Infowars back on this one. You know what I mean? You're not going to frame it up that somehow because they filmed riots, they staged, you know, some of the footage. You better come with some hard evidence, because I'm not seeing it. And ultimately, what you're doing is you're lying about these guys, and you're just making them more and more legitimate. So it only helps them in the long run. So, you know, give me a break, guys. I'll see y'all on the flip. I love you. Remember, it's not about left or right, conservative or Democrat. It's not about black or white. It's not about race at all. It's about right and wrong and us coming together as one race, the human race. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.